Hi everybody, it's Deanna Nichols, doTERRA Blue Diamond, and I am coming to you in simulcast apparently right now. I'm trying to use two devices so that I can make sure to include the folks in both the Premier and Silver group and the Gold and Platinum group. I didn't want to leave out my friends in the Premier Silver group because don't tell everybody, but you're my favorites. And I wanted to make sure you were included, so hopefully everybody can see this at the same time. My name is Deanna Nichols. I live in the North Central Virginia area, about 60 miles from Washington, D.C. And I'm a Blue Diamond. I've been using doTERRA products since the fall of 2011 when my beautiful friend Lisa shared them with me. I did not do a business right away. I was really focusing on my health. At the time that I began using the oils, I was really struggling with my health. I had been for about 20 years. I was disabled, in a wheelchair, just a really, a very seriously ill person. And so my whole focus was using the products for my health. And I was just really grateful to have them in my life. And so after my health completely turned around in the course of about 18 months and I was off all my medications, out of my wheelchair, I was pregnant with my son after 15 years of infertility, just really, really massive life changes. That's the point when it occurred to me that I should share doTERRA with others. And to be honest with you, I had no intention of doing it as a business. I was totally grossed out by network marketing. I'll never forget in the beginning that if I would have my upline on one of my team calls or something, I would give them this big list of things they weren't allowed to say. Like they weren't allowed to say network marketing or MLM or enroll or sponsor or upline or all these words that I was ashamed of. I really had some serious hang-ups about network marketing, but what I did have was raw passion and a belief in this company and their mission and these products. And I knew that I would be able to bring hope to others by sharing my story. And that's really what it was about. But when I say I had pretty much nothing but raw passion, that's so true. I mean, I had spent the previous 5 or 6 years pretty much inside my home 24 hours a day, unless I was at the doctor or the hospital. I didn't have a network of people. In fact, back in the, 3 years before I started using the products, I had tried to take my own life. I just became very desperate, tired of being ill and feeling like I just didn't have purpose. And so, I did not have like if somebody looked at me, they weren't thinking, ooh, I should put this person on my front line. That was just that's not who I was at all. And, so I really didn't set out to do a business, didn't understand really how the business worked. I just wanted to help people. And, my upline presidential diamond, Shane Hinsey, once I found out that he once told somebody that if there were an award for the most improved in personal development, it would be Deanna Nichols. I know he meant that as a compliment, and I took it to heart as a compliment, but I laughed because I really needed a lot of personal development. I just didn't have that. I don't have a big education. I didn't ever really work a steady job because I struggled with illness. I wasn't like this famous blogger. I just didn't seem like I had anything going for me that would make people want to reach out and recruit me. My friend really just wanted to help me, and she had compassion, and she brought hope into my life with the oils, and I wanted to pay it forward and share that with other people. And so that's kind of a little bit about my story. We actually, from the time we did our first class, we went diamond in 10 months. Contrary to popular belief, you can go fast and still hold your rank. We never fell outside of our rank. We were solid diamond, and we worked really hard to help build a diamond on our front line shortly after that. And then the next year we went blue diamond. It has not been without its struggles. I'll tell you that for sure. But what I want to talk to you about for a few minutes today is how you can do this. It's about you, and you can do doTERRA like you. I laugh a lot because I am nothing if I'm not about authenticity. In fact, I've done those quizzes where like, what's one word you would say about me? The word authenticity comes up more than any other word that people say about me. I actually love that because that is my goal. I really appreciate forthrightness and integrity and honesty and upfront and just, I want it to be like a Tootsie Roll, it's the same on the inside as it is on the outside. And that's really how I've always tried to live my life. So, But I want you to understand, because I laugh a lot and I see a lot of people out there giving advice like, oh, you're doing it wrong. Like, you can't do it like that. You can't build online. You can't go fast. You can't, because it won't be solid. You can't do this. You shouldn't do that. I had someone tell me once, when I had gone silver in my first month, gold my second month, I had someone really like a rock star in doTERRA tell me, it's great that you got to gold, but you cannot go diamond, enrolling people with family essentials kits and home essentials kits. And I was like, oh, really? And so, of course, I did. That's still, the Home Essentials kit is still the kit that I enroll people with. By the way, I won the incentive trip that first year on my enrollments, my little small kit enrollments. So it obviously can be done because I did it like me. And I think that's the most important ingredient. I mean, I think that obviously there are people that have forged a path ahead and they know how this business works, right? And they understand like the skills that we need, and everybody has to do the same skills, but the secret sauce that you have that nobody else has that's going to make you stand out is your authenticity and being you. The thing is, you can't be you until you know you and you love you and you accept you for who you are. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about you. And of course I'm going to use myself as an example because that's the only you that I really know very well. Okay. I've known me my whole life. And so I'm going to talk about me, but I want you to think about, when I talk about each point, I want you to kind of insert yourself in there. And the first thing I want to say is that you have a story. A lot of people, when they hear my story, which by the way, if you want to watch it, I share it openly with everyone because I really think that it is inspiring and brings hope to a lot of people. My YouTube channel is Deanna Nichols. You can go see it there under the section, the playlist called About Deanna. So I won't go much deeper into it other than what I've already told you. But sometimes on my team, especially, my team members hear my story and they're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't have a story like that. So I can't do this. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You have a story that somebody needs to hear. Somebody needs to hear your story way more than they need to hear my story because they know you and they've seen your story unfold. And your story could be the thing that they need that's keeping them from having hope for moving forward. The story that causes them to realize that they have purpose, that there is hope for their future. And so please understand that everyone has a story and you need to tell your story. I don't care if you think it's not very exciting or not. Somebody needs to hear that unique story, and that's what makes you, you. And so find out how to tell your story and inspire people with your story. People love to hear our stories in this business. At one point, we all got a little nervous and scared about telling our stories. We were afraid we were going to say the wrong thing. And I just want to say, like, that is why we grew so fast as a company, because people were telling their stories. And keep telling your story, because that is what your secret sauce is, and that's what people are inspired by. Not a list of do's and don'ts in a PowerPoint presentation, but the passion that comes through when you are authentic and you tell your story, okay? The second thing is you are unique. Okay, so I don't know about you, but in the early days of the business, I felt like whenever I would see people on stage or even in other network marketing companies, I felt like there was a certain type of person that was always on stage. That was, you know, the ones that were successful. I felt like they looked a certain way, they had a certain background, and I started to wonder, like, is there a place for me? Because I can almost promise, I don't like to promise anything 100%, but I can almost promise if you ever see me on a doTERRA stage, which is pretty rare. I tend to do my own events. But if you ever see me on a doTERRA stage, you can almost bet your britches that I will not be in any sort of a suit and stilettos and all of that with a manicure and a really nice smoothed out hairdo. Like, that's probably not me. If you see me, I'm probably wearing some really bright, crazy colors. Probably leggings are involved, some ballerina flats, some crazy jewelry, whatever. And the thing is we're entrepreneurs, and so we can do that. That's inspiring. Like, I don't mean that everyone should go out and get leggings and crazy jewelry. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you are you, uniquely you, and you're okay with not trying to fit into some sort of a box and look like everyone else, that's the thing. You're going to attract a whole group of people that are like your tribe, and that they're thinking like, gosh, if she can do it, so can I. I relate to her. I get her. I don't have to be in stilettos and I can still do this. I don't have to like look corporate. Good grief. Like, nobody, I don't think anybody ever joined as a wellness advocate because they wanted to be a corporate employee, right? I mean, we all do it because we're entrepreneurs. We want to create our own situation, create our own hours, create our own lifestyle, and we want to be able to work in our ball cap and our jammy pants and our LuLaRoes or whatever. And so it's inspiring when other people see that it's possible to get to these levels in the business that you're at and do it like you. You don't have to look like everyone else. You don't have to be the same size as everyone else. I'm gonna talk about the elephant in the room. Now, no pun intended, but we're all not like a size 4, okay? And that doesn't mean we're not healthy and vibrant people. The average woman in the United States is a size 14, okay? So I don't know about you, but I love to see some of my like fuller figured, awesome rock star leaders up there on the stage because they relate to so many regular, normal people. And I want them to know, like, you don't have to go on a crash keto diet, Atkins / trim healthy mama / starvation, 92-hour fasting in order to get up on a stage and inspire people about this business. You can do it just like you are now. You're unique. Your body's like you. It was made like you. You burn fat differently. You build muscle differently. People don't know, like, your background's totally different. I mean, I came from 20 years of a sedentary lifestyle. And so how my body looks, I'm proud that I've lost over 100 pounds. And I'm proud that I'm not in a wheelchair anymore. The things that I can do may not be what like a professional athlete who's a blue diamond can do, but they are amazing miracles that I can do them. And I want people to know that's real and that's raw. And so be yourself and just do you. Don't worry about what other people think, because somebody's looking for confirmation that they can do it just as they are, and you're going to give them that confirmation when you're authentic, okay? You are not what your critics and doubters say. Oh my gosh, if you can grasp this information, please grasp this information now. It took me all the way till being a struggling blue diamond to trying to solidify my blue diamond rank, to understand that I am not what the naysayers say about me. When you learn to love and appreciate who you are and realize that you are what got you here, so when you hear people tell you that, you know, something's wrong with you, or you're too much this, or you're not enough this, or, you know, maybe they're just trying to take you down and they're doing really hateful things. That has totally happened to me on this journey. And you know what the thing is once you realize that those choices and those words say more about that person than they say about you, it has nothing to do with you that those people are saying and doing those things. And here's a quote that I love. Don't listen to the small voices because you have big goals. If you don't listen to those small voices, you'll reach those big goals because you're not going to let those things hold you back. That is not who you are. One of the best things I ever did was I learned from Kirk Duncan from 3 Key Elements. I learned to make this poster, and I drew this like silhouette of a warrior princess with like swords and a shield, and it just like made me feel powerful. And I drew all these words to fill in the entire inside of that drawing to describe who I want to be. And I would look at that every single day. And when people criticize me, and they will, and they do, when people try to hurt me, hurt my business, whatever, I look at that and I'm like, wait a second, that person said that I didn't have integrity, but look right there. It says integrity in that drawing, and that's who I am. There's no space for that untrue thing that they're saying about me. And so you have to own who you are and know who you are so that when the critics come, and they will, you realize that has nothing to do with you. That is all about them and their struggle and the lens from which they see life. And it doesn't have to mean anything to you. What people think about you is none of your business. Okay. The next thing is you have a purpose. I believe that you were uniquely created with a specific purpose, something that only you can do on this earth, that you were uniquely gifted and crafted and qualified to be able to do. And so you go ahead and figure out what that purpose is, okay? And then live it. And don't let your adversary knock you off course. Now, sometimes people think that their adversary is their frontline leader who only places a 99.4 PV order. Some people think their adversary is their, brother-in-law who makes fun of what they do for a living, or their adversary is that cross-line leader that just creates memes about you and just doesn't like you and has blocked you on social media. That's not your adversary. Your adversary is spiritual, okay? So what I mean by that is if there's good in the world, there's an equal and opposite force pulling the other direction. So I know there's good in the world because I've seen what you all beautiful people are doing all over the world, what doTERRA is doing all over the world. That's how I know that there's good in the world. Okay. And so if there's good in the world, there's bad in the world. And that adversary, that evil force that's out there knows your weak spots. It knows the things that even when you're the most passionate and you're on fire and you're out there just busting it and doing everything right, they're gonna bring you right back to that same spot again. That weak spot, you have got to kill and bury it, or it's gonna keep coming up over and over and over and over again. And when you're on to your adversary's games, it's not as easy for him to win against you with that strategy anymore. He's gonna have to come up with new stuff, new material. And I like to keep my adversary guessing, and so I'm always trying to grow and become more of the strong person that I already am, so that I can overcome those weak spots that I have. And here's the thing, resistance is going to come. It can come in the form of health issues. It can come in the form of marriage issues. It can come in the form of downline drama. It can come in the form of, just about anything, financial problems. And the thing is if you already decide ahead of time that you know resistance is going to come, and that is a sign that you're about to do something super important and that you're not going to quit when it's hard, you are going to accomplish great things. You will. The times in my business so far that have been the most difficult, when I've decided to go ahead and push in and move forward, even when it like really was painful and it hurt and it was hard, those are the times when I've seen the most amazing things and the most growth. An example is 1 year ago yesterday, I was in a terrible car accident and suffered a traumatic brain injury. You talk about something coming out of left field and hitting you out of nowhere. That's literally what happened to me. And I went through some of the most difficult times in my business where not just physically, not just emotionally, but just literally there were people that saw an opening to attack me and my family and my business at that time. And I could have, did I want to quit so bad. I wanted to quit so bad, but I just knew that if I would get out there and do what I'm good at and what makes me just sets my soul on fire. So even though I didn't even know my own name some days and didn't even recognize my husband of 23 years, we got in our RV and we drove all over the nation and started doing events and started getting out there in front of my team and loving on my team and letting them see me in all of my like raw, I was brain injured. So bless me, I don't know exactly what I said and did, but I just knew I did it out of love. And I felt the love coming back from my team, and our team just exploded. We were breaking like silvers and golds and platinums and premieres just like all over the place during the hardest time in my life because I decided that resistance wasn't going to put me down. So, the other thing I want to tell you about your adversary is that sometimes it's you. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's self-sabotage. There's this verse in Proverbs that says that a foolish woman builds her house and then tears it down with her own hands. And the more I work with predominantly women in this business, the more I see that as women, I feel like so many times we sabotage ourselves. Like we tell ourselves like we don't deserve to be here, we don't know what we're doing, we can't ever sustain this level of success. And P.S., if you're watching this, you've reached the level of premier and above in doTERRA, the #1 direct selling company in the world. I believe I heard before that silvers in doTERRA are like in the top 2% in all of network marketing. And so if you've reached anywhere around that level, you are a rock star in network marketing. I don't care what somebody else upline or crossline is doing, you are awesome. And so you can get to that level of awesome and then talk yourself out of the fact that you even know what you're doing. I can remember very recently thinking, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I can't go presidential diamond. I don't know what I'm doing. And it was so funny because I had taken my top 5 strength finders test, but I hadn't unlocked the other strengths. When I went to unlock the strengths, one of the biggest lies that I had told myself is my husband and I had done this business together. We went diamond and blue diamond together. And then he decided that he wanted to move on to something else. And I was left kind of on my own for the last couple of years doing this. And I kept thinking like, well, the magic was because we were both doing it and he has all these skills that he's really good at. He's this activator and communicator and he has focus and all this stuff that I don't have. And do you want to hear something funny? When I unlocked my strengths, all but one of his top 5 were in my top 10, you guys. It was like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. Like I was wearing the ruby slippers. but I didn't know that I had the power the entire time. The things that I thought only he could do, that I couldn't do without him, I had them in my possession the entire time. And so it was literally just self-sabotage and self-doubt. Another thing I want you to know is you are loved. You are loved. I believe that God, Almighty God, adores you. He made you from scratch. And those of you that are parents, like, you know that love that you feel looking at that little human copycat of yourself that sometimes drives you insane, but they're just the most adorable at the worst moments. And you would do anything for them. That's how God feels about you. Why am I talking about this? Because if you don't know how much God loves you, like, you have to have that knowledge to be able to love other people and live out your purpose. You have to know that you're loved. The other thing is you have upline who are pulling for you and they love you like crazy. Now, probably not all of them. You probably don't have that relationship with all of them. I know some people in my own downline were probably like, really? But you know how it works. Like, a prophet is without honor in his own country. But I promise you, there are people in your upline who love you and are pulling for you. I think of Shane and Rebecca Hinsey and Steve and Christine Hales, who have been for us and just always pulling for us and always showing us the best things about ourselves. Like, Christine was kind of like our mentor all the way through Diamond to help us to get there. And she has this way of just like making me realize that I'm good at stuff. And make sure you are surrounding yourself with people like that in your life. Mentors that are pointing out what you're good at instead of telling you what you need to work on and what you need to change and fix. The other thing is that you have downline whose lives that you've changed, and they love you for bringing these oils, this business opportunity into their life. It's so funny because, like, when I started this business, my goal was to help others and serve others and be a leader of others. And multiple times, and especially recently with this car accident, I have found that there are people in my downline that absolutely love me, and they are like family. They are my family. Everywhere I go in the country, there's somebody on my team who loves me, somebody crossline who loves me. And the thing is that is a beautiful thing for you to know and recognize. That gift of doTERRA that you've given to other people has expanded your circle of love throughout the globe, and it is beautiful. Let me just say this, though. Everyone's not going to love you, but you don't need everyone to love you. You really just need the love of a few good people. I totally ripped that off from The Greatest Showman. I love that movie. Love that quote. And it's so true. Like, don't worry about the ones who don't love you and don't get you. That's okay. As long as you are surrounded by a core group of people who love you, and that group is going to be huge the more and more that you share doTERRA and love and serve others. You and your weaknesses are strengths that just haven't been sharpened yet. Okay? So I know that there's been times in my life and times in my doTERRA business where people have said stuff about me that I needed to change and work on. I've had people in my upline tell me that they were embarrassed of me because of this and the other, and people in my downline that just said they didn't want anything to do with me. And I just thought about some of the things that have been said as criticisms, and then I look at them in light of my strengths, the God-given strengths that I've been given, that I found in my top 5 strengths for the Strength Finders test. Here's one. You are so bossy and opinionated, and it has to be your way. My strength is command. That strength is amazing. When it's sharpened, that strength can let people know, like, hey guys, this is the right way. Let's follow me. And people can follow me and see amazing things happen because I know which way to go when I sharpen that strength. Here's another one. You're invisible and you don't matter. That was clearly a weakness, a struggle that I had that caused me to take my own life at one point. It's caused me to shrink away from opportunities. It's caused me to step back in my business, not recruit those builders that I think are more awesome than me. And, it's held back my business from growth because of that false truth. If I just sharpen that skill, I have the strength of significance. That means that I was given that strength because I have something significant to do in this world. And doTERRA provides me with an amazing vehicle to use it. You know what? I don't have to be significant in the eyes of the owners of doTERRA. I don't have to be significant in the eyes of other crossline blue and presidential diamonds. I don't even have to be significant in the eyes of everyone in my downline, but I do have something significant to offer to this world, and the people that will see it and recognize it and appreciate it are the ones that I'm here to do it for. My people, the ones that I set out to live this passion and share this passion with, those are the ones that allow me to experience that strength. What about this one? You always see problems. You're so negative. Yeah, I have the strength of strategic. That's my number one strength. Of course I see problems because I'm going to know how to fix it. I'm going to create all kinds of crazy ways to fix it. I'll fix it with like 5 seconds left on the clock, and it'll be awesome, and nobody will believe it could happen. And so of course I see problems. And so just strengthening or sharpening that strength a little bit can absolutely bring amazing results for me and my team. You push people too hard and you expect too much from people. What about competition? Competition is my strength. Can you imagine being on a team with somebody that's got command, strategic, significance, and competition? My team's like, yes, we can imagine it. We're all very tired. But the thing is they will push you to be your best. They'll believe in you at your worst. They will be down there waiting for the buzzer with you, just in the game, sweaty, ready to pass out with you because they have that strength. If it's sharpened, it's a beautiful strength. How about you're such a recluse, you don't have any friends, people don't want you in their group, and you just don't attract people because you're an introvert. What about relator? I don't need to have a big, huge group because I connect with people on a deep personal level. I've been through some major things in my life, and I can see that in a conversation with somebody. I may not have empathy, but I use that relator to really relate deeply with people and their hurts and their goals and their dreams. And that is a beautiful gift. When you have this close, deep relationship with a handful of people on your team, you guys can accomplish amazing things together. And again, this isn't about me, but I'm the only you that I know, so I'm using my strengths. So use yours and figure out how you can take those things that you've been criticized for and look at your strengths. It could just be a strength that's just hiding in there that you don't know how to use yet. You haven't sharpened your skills. And so think about this. Like, I'm the sick girl that became the healer. I'm the broke, bankrupt girl that became the inspirer for financial freedom. I'm the recluse, the homebody, the shut-in that became this world traveler that creates networks all over the world. You can take your weakness and turn the dial just a tiny bit and see how that can actually become a strength in your life. The last thing I want to tell you is that you are perfect. Okay? Now, I know that we can all grow for sure. I could certainly stand to be a little less bossy sometimes and see things other people's way. And if they were right, I sure would see it their way. Just kidding. But you are perfect as you are. And when I say that, what I mean is you got here being you. So you don't want to be somebody else in order to go further. You just want to be more you. Okay? You are who you need to be right this minute. You don't need to learn one other skill. You are exactly who you need to be. You have the strengths and talents you need right now. You know the information you need to know right now. You're the perfect weight. You're the perfect income level. You're the perfect personality, education, position. You're at the perfect health to live with purpose and freaking shine. Just shine your light so big that it makes the darkness so uncomfortable. Yes, they will complain, but keep shining because so many people are watching you. And when you shine, despite all of that resistance and all of that negativity that's out there in the world, you're going to inspire so many people that they can do this. Regular people, ordinary people are the ones that change the world. You have the ability to change the world. Come do it with me. I'm doing it right now with what I have, who I am, and I want you to do it with me. We can change the world together. Shine on, you guys. Have an awesome weekend.